Okay, today we're going to do lesson 8.3, and let's take a look at the warm-up. Find the area of each of these trapezoids. So when you take a look at this, the formula is half times the height, which is 4.6, and then you add the base 1 and base 2, which would be 4.1 plus 8.9. Half of 4.6 is 2.3, and that gets multiplied by 4.1 plus 8.9, which is 13. And when you multiply those two and round to the nearest tenth, you get 29.9 square kilometers. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. You would take half times the height, which is 5.5, and then you add the base 1 and base 2, which is 2.3 plus 8.9. Half of 5.5 is 2.75, and that gets multiplied by the adding of base 1 and base 2, which is 11.2. Multiply those two together and round, and you get 30.8 square kilometers. Always remember that area is squared when you label your answer. Okay, now today we're going to talk about area of regular polygons. Regular meaning all angles are congruent, all sides are congruent, and of course polygon is a closed figure with straight sides, starting with a triangle and then all the way up. All right, now there's a couple of definitions we just want to clarify before we talk about the formula. First of all, we're going to talk about a radius. Now, it's a little different than what you know about a radius as far as a circle is concerned. Here you have a circle, but inside of that is your polygon, which is a hexagon in this situation. And so a radius in a polygon is anywhere from the center out to a vertex. So these two would be considered to be a radius. And then of course, any of them going out to any of the vertices all the way around. It's not like a circle where you can go from the center out anywhere. It's not like that. But that would be the radius of a polygon. And then here's a new word. It's called apothem. That is actually this line right here. And that's from the center straight out between the vertex, okay, or between the vertices, okay. It will be perpendicular, so it does create a right triangle situation here. But that is your apothem. It comes straight out that way. All right, so let's take a look at the formula. The area of a regular polygon would be 1/2 times the apothem times the length of the side times the number of sides, or half times the apothem times the perimeter of the shape. And we're actually going to use this one. So we're not going to use this one either, even though both of them will give you the same answer. But we're going to use this one simply because part of your assignment today is to find the perimeter. So once you find the perimeter, it's just a few more steps and you have the area. So the P stands for perimeter, and the A right there is your apothem. And then of course half, if you're putting it into the calculator, the best way to do that is 0.5. Now, finding the perimeter, of course we've talked about that all along, being adding all the sides. But in this situation, because you're dealing with a regular polygon where all of the sides are the same, you can just take the number of sides and multiply by the length of one side. I think you already know that. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but just, because I've always just said, add all the sides, but you can multiply in this situation since all the sides are the same. All right, so let's take a look here at just a few of the examples. We're not going to do all of them simply because it is very simple. Okay, so we're supposed to find the area and perimeter and round to the nearest tenth. So we're going to find the perimeter first this time, simply because there is a little bit of a shortcut when you're finding the area. So for the perimeter, you take the length of one side, and let's just clarify, the length of the side will be outside of the shape. The number that's inside the shape is the length of the apothem, okay? So the length of the side is 12, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 6, which would give you 72. It doesn't indicate here exactly what type of measurement, so we're just going to say units. Just remember that you always need to label it. Now, to find the area, you take the perimeter times the apothem, which is 10.4, times 1/2. You will be rounding to the nearest tenth, so when you multiply that out, you get 374.4 square units. Remember that area is labeled with square. Okay, let's do the next one. To find the perimeter, here's your length, 6.1, times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, you don't have to go around with the hash marks. It's just sometimes when you get more and more sides on there, people tend to make a mistake. So 6.1 times 8 would give you 48.8 units. And then for the area, take that perimeter, 48.8, times the apothem, times 1/2, and then you would round that, so you get 180.6 square units. Okay, we'll do one more, because it is pretty simple, like I said. All right, for the perimeter, the length is 28 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you multiply that out, you get 168 units. And then for the area, you take that perimeter, 168, times the apothem, 24.2, times 1/2, and you get 2,032.8 square units. Okay, not difficult at all. And this concludes our lesson.